Well, welcome back to Smart Life. I am Dr. Tina, your host, and if you were educated in public schools, you may not know that our national motto is actually "In God We Trust." That's our national motto, "In God We Trust." And if you've been watching the news, you may even think that the word God has been banned from all public property, but there's a very important reason why everyone, including those who do not believe in God, should be pushing to keep our country based on the moral code of the Bible. And here to explain it is Leah Carouan, the Executive Director of the Congressional Prayer Caucus. Welcome to the show, Leah. It's good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Dr. Gina.
This is what I've learned in my short education inside of politics and looking at issues that override our culture and our society. I realized something, and I usually use it in reference to term limits, which is something I'm very opposed to for this reason. But this is the concept that I thought of in watching your video and in reading the things that you have put out. Authority doesn't go away. Authority only transfers. You can use that, you can intermix the word power or whatever. But so if we as a United States are subjected to an authority of God, that's one thing. But if that authority is taken away from God, it doesn't go to the individual. It doesn't go to the people. That never happens. It transfers instead to government. So the insidious, dirty, sickening little secret, I believe, in what is happening and trying to, kind of undermine our national motto, "In God We Trust," and make it e pluribus unum, is that the power is not going to go from God to the people or from God to more freedom or go away and vanish overnight and make it so everybody can just believe what they want to believe and we all have this happy little utopian society. The power is going to transfer from God to government, and that's how every single tyrannical government in the history of mankind has risen up and destroyed its people from within. That's the part of this that's the most scary, don't you think?
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head. That was the brilliance of our founding fathers. They understood that America was based on two things that was radical at the time. And the first one was that everybody had unalienable rights. You couldn't take them from somebody, you couldn't steal them, you couldn't trade them, you couldn't pass them on to the next generation. But the second part of that is those rights were given by God, a creator. And if God gives those rights, and the state is not the one that gives those rights, then the state cannot take those rights away. And what they try to do is they try to break the nexus between God and your rights so that it's the state that gives them. And that's how they come and take in the power. And that's what we have to fight against.
There are a lot of conservatives that watch this show, but there are a lot of people who aren't conservative that watch this show as well. I even made some special contact with some people today that I know don't believe in God and that don't want God injected in their lives. Leah, I want you to talk to those people. I want you to talk not to the Christians, who of course we know are going to fundamentally support this, but I want you to explain to people who simply want more freedom. They don't want the imposition of religion in their lives. I want you to explain to them why your battle here is probably most critical to people like them.
Absolutely. The fact of the matter is that the Judeo-Christian values and principles that are reflected in our policies and laws are the very policies and laws that give them the ability to have religious freedom. America is free, and you are able to be in America and believe whatever you want. Individuals have freedom of conscience, and we fundamentally fight for freedom of conscience or freedom of religion, and the fact of the matter for the individual. But what they don't understand is that every nation reflects somebody's values. And so the only values through which you can keep an entire nation, all the individuals free, is if the nation reflects Judeo-Christian values and policies. All you have to do is look around the world and you'll see the many other value systems that do not allow people freedom of conscience. In America, you won't be beheaded, you won't be killed, you won't be at this point anyway, if we continue to fight for these religious freedoms, because our nation, our principles and our laws and policies reflect Judeo-Christian values. That's why you must fight for them.
So well said, Leah. It's not if you're going to be under some authority. It's which authority are you going to be under, because every government is under authority. It's just the natural law of human frailty, and this is how it works. So every country is going to be under someone's system of values. The question is which system of values you want. And I would invite those who are fighting tooth and nail to eradicate "In God We Trust" as our national motto and to take God out of everything that is American. I would invite you to examine what happens to a culture. We're being invaded right now from within by Sharia law. It's already in our court systems. And if we fall to Sharia law, women, you will be stoned to death without 5 witnesses when you are accused of adultery, even if it was rape. 5 male witnesses, I might add, because you are 1/5 of a man in Islamic culture. There are lots of governments out there, but none of them are going to provide the protections of the Judeo-Christian ethic, which is inherently unique. And I think that's what this fight is about. Leah, how can people get involved in this fight? And what are you hearing just from people on the ground, lawmakers and otherwise?
Well, the vast majority of Americans believe just like what you and I do. They want to remain a Judeo-Christian nation, and they want to ensure that God keeps his enduring place in America. So we're just trying to make it easy for people. We're saying, listen, let's stand up. If you don't stand up for your rights and for this Judeo-Christian nation now, then those people who are vocal, and it's the minority, vocal, aggressive, intentional people will get their way, and they'll begin to erode our religious freedom. So what we're saying is, join us. We've put forth an "In God We Trust" campaign, and that's based on the reaffirmation that our Congress did, our House did in 2011, reaffirming "In God We Trust" as our national motto, and encouraging the public display of it in every school and government building across the nation. Our Congress is telling us, we want you citizens to display "In God We Trust." Let's write it up on our schools and in our government buildings again. Let's remind America that it is in God we trust, and that is what our hope is in. And so we've launched this campaign, and people can go to ingodwetrust.com. We're asking them, just buy a $5 window cling and put it up in your car, your home, your office. We want 1 million windows to display "In God We Trust" as our national motto.
I'm just curious, in talking to you, it seems to me like there would be some religious freedom crusaders in the true sense of the First Amendment right to religious freedom, who would be really supportive of this. Have you had any of those types of groups or people come out?
Absolutely. You'd be surprised. We have celebrities, government leaders, organizations, patriotic organizations. They all believe in what we're doing here, and they're just excited to have an opportunity to take a stand, because I think most of us are kind of tired of playing defense. We're tired of feeling like we have to apologize for the fact that we are a Judeo-Christian nation. And so we've had tremendous, widespread support. In fact, tomorrow we have a full-page ad, an article in the Washington Times special edition for Constitution Day that's coming out. I hope everybody will take a look at that and will become a part of this campaign. Widespread support. We hope everybody will get involved.
InGodWeTrust.com. Leah Karawan, thank you so much for being with us. Good luck with your campaign, and thanks for keeping us informed about it.
Thank you. Privileged to be on.
All right.